Okay, so we have made it to Eagles Canyon Raceway, and it is freaking scorching. So currently in the camper that I'll be using for the weekend. I got this on Outdoorsy, no affiliation, no sponsorship, but this is super cool. This one's actually really nice. I'm getting a pretty good deal on it, but basically just allows me to stay at the track and have a home at the track, so that way the pups can stay nice and cool while I'm out racing. So that's camper. You got my enclosed trailer and then the car. And the car was brought here by Formula Mazda. They just finished doing the corner balance and the alignment, and it's totally fueled up and it should be ready to rock. Hopefully tomorrow we can go out and get up to pace rather quickly. I raced here like a month ago. Unfortunately that race didn't go too well, but we're in a new car, so hopefully new car, new results. But tomorrow we'll get everything dialed in, and I'll update then. Okay, we just finished with qualifying. It was a really good session yesterday. I got some brand new Hoosiers mounted, and then this morning during the warm-up session I did like 4 laps, really slow laps to get the tires scrubbed in, and then I was able to take those tires out for qualifying, put in a super fast lap. I mean, I had my out lap, and then my first lap I did a 53, I think it was a 53.9, like a 53.901 or something, and that was good enough for P2. So I'm super excited. Hopefully we can at least maintain a top 3 finish. The guy behind me is really fast, and I mean, he was like maybe 7/100ths of a second behind me or something. So I mean, we're going to be neck and neck. But really looking for a podium. There's at least 8 FX cars running this weekend in our class, maybe even 10. So I mean, to be on the podium in my second SCCA race, 3rd race overall, would be really awesome. So right now, I mean, it's freaking scorching. So right now, trying to keep the car covered a little bit so it doesn't, you know, melt. But for now, all you gotta do is put some fuel in, check the oil levels, check tire pressures, and suit up and sweat, and, you know, potentially pass out through the heat exhaustion. But other than that, that's all we got. I think I have about another hour to go, and then it'll be game time. In case anyone was curious how the pups are doing, they're doing good. Callie, why aren't you splooting anymore? Huh? Huh, Mama? Like you're splooting? You know, I'll take them out every once in a while, let them run around, get exhausted like this guy, and enjoy the weather a little bit, but not too hot.
Yeah. Downforce. What about the braking? You have to come off on the...
Well, I mean, you stand on it when you're fast.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Let the arrow...
You gotta take care of all that.
But it's not that much different. So it's a lot easier to modulate and like know the limit of the brakes, because they're better.
Yeah.
And I have adjustable bias, so like it's all on the fly.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. So I mean, set it up exactly how you want.
Yeah. What do you think?
Beautiful. What's that?
Stay hydrated? Hydrated.
Yeah. I drank it. I feel like 4 Gatorades or something so far.
Smoking like crazy.
My water over
Big
there.
time fire.
Probably not. that's coming up.
I can't hear anything you're saying.
Give me your thoughts on the race that's coming up.
Well, I'm gonna try and go fast. They're probably gonna go slow, and then I'm gonna win. A solid tactic.
Sounds like a solid tactic.
Super freaking hot. That's how I summed that whole thing up. So before the race, the group before us, they had like 3 cars go off. So we're up at grid, sitting there for I think like 15 or 20 minutes just in the scorching sun. So that really sucked. But I guess rehash on the race. I started on the outside, so it's not, I mean, not an ideal because I started on the left-hand side and turn 1 is a right-hander, so but it's a right to a quick left and then another left. So if you can maintain position, theoretically you'd be on the inside for turn 3, which would give you the advantage. That's kind of what happened. Whoever, like all the people on the right side, I mean, they had a really fast car in the front, so whenever the green flag went, those guys just took off and the whole pack just went with them. And we had some slow car on the left side who, I don't know what happened, he just didn't get a good start. So we all got bogged down. So trying to, you know, jockey through that stuff through turn 1, and I mean, just got majorly slowed up into 2. But coming into 3, I was able to get a run on the guy that was in front of me, and I went up inside, and I think I probably made up 2 positions, maybe 3, in that one turn. But the problem is the guy that started to the right of me, he got a really good run and was able to basically have the proper racing line going into 3. And I mean, he took the lead and he never looked back. There was a little time spent behind an FE2 car that was kind of slow, but once we got around him, the other Formula Mazda that's in my class he just took off, and unfortunately I couldn't keep up. But I was able to maintain position and come home with my first podium in my second ever SCCA race. So I will take that. And tomorrow, hopefully, I mean, I'm gonna try and look at my footage and see what I can do better for tomorrow, and hopefully maybe we can come out with a win. So at the end of the race, during the cool down lap, I pressed my clutch in and nothing happened. It's kind of weird. I didn't lose any fluid, and it has a brand new clutch slave. So the O-rings in it are done. So, and unfortunately we're here with Formula Mazda, and they've got all the good stuff. So we have a brand new clutch master. So we'll get this installed and be good to go for Monday. Or I'm sorry, Sunday. The race is on Sunday. Not Monday, Sunday. Callie, what are you doing? Are you checking out the opposition? Seeing how we can go faster? I'm doing some reconnaissance. Podrick, what are you doing? Oh, he's peeing. Okay, never mind. Okay, bye. Okay, we're pretty much done with the clutch master install. It's pretty straightforward. I had ordered a box of just miscellaneous parts before I'd come down here. One of those being a new brake line. My old one kind of started to shear, so that's not good. And then I bought just like some new bolts for control arms and clutch, or I'm sorry, brake caliper rebuild kit, seals for the pistons, some brake pads, These are Hawk Blues. I guess that's the standard for these guys. Only $125 for these things. I mean, pretty small, but at any rate, coming from, you know, 2020 Supras and all that crap where you spend $1,000 on brake pads, it's a nice change of pace. So just finishing up, putting all these little miscellaneous things in, cover her up, and then we'll be done for the night. Just got finished with Sunday's qualifying, and I don't even know if you can see that, but we got P1 in FX. The whole session there was yellow in a couple spots or whatever, so most of the people came in. I stayed out, and I was able to get one good clean lap in without any traffic or anything. So yeah, that's the result of that. Unfortunately, the guy that won the race yesterday, he didn't do qualifying. He was saving his tires, but this does give me a shot for victory. And so yesterday during the race, I mean, the car was basically set up for qualifying where I could go out and do one really good lap when the car was just getting up to temperature, and then it was pretty much done. After that, the car would go away. So during the race, I did a couple 55, well, like 5 55s, and then the rest were in the 56 and 57 range. Today, we made some setup changes to where it's not going to be as fast at the beginning, but the car is going to come in as the race progresses. And today is going to be a 30-minute race. So I just want to make sure that at the end of the race that I've got a good fast car that that can take me home. So right now we're getting some fuel, and yeah, I think we have to re-bleed the clutch slave during the qualifying session. The pedal went to the floor again, but after I pumped it up a few times, it came back. So probably still have a couple air bubbles in the line, but I'll get that addressed, put some fuel in the car, and we should be good to go. All right, we have made it back home. So Sunday's race, things did not go well. I thought I was qualified P1, but I guess whenever for Sunday's race, it's actually the fastest lap time over the whole weekend is how the starting grid is organized. So my whole game plan got put off, and I started from like 6th or something. But I had a decent start. I got into 3rd. I passed one of the other FX guys, which put me into 2nd. And then I was battling with some FE2 guy that, I mean, this guy is just out there to ruin people's races. He has a really high horsepower motor, so he can just take off on the straights, but he's super slow in the corners. And the FX car that was in the lead was able to get around him after, I think it was like 3 or 4 laps, which would then lead me to try and get around him. And I mean, this guy just, I mean, even you'd get side by side and he'd brake with you in the braking zone, and then he would just cut you off. I mean, it was just blatant disregard for other people and their other people's races. So he ruined my race. And basically what happened is I was getting super frustrated because I was behind him for, I think it was 9 laps. I think I did 9 laps out of a 17 lap race. And I was just getting so frustrated that there's one turn where I basically short shifted into 3rd to get on the back straight, and I was just really frustrated and stuff, and I was just clunking the gears basically. And what happened is I actually engaged 2 of the gears simultaneously. There's actually, let's see if I can show you this. There's these fingers right here, and basically there's a selector rod. And whenever you click on one of these, it determines what gear you go into. And what I had done is, since it's an H pattern gearbox, but what I did is I didn't make like a perfect H pattern whenever I did my shift. So I actually engaged 2 gears at once. And when that happened, basically the car got stuck into 2nd, and I couldn't get it out of 2nd because it was permanently engaged, and the shift finger was trying to select a different gear. Which at that point it actually gave me a false neutral, which I was still stuck into gear, and so I had to pull it off. I obviously couldn't continue the race, and I guess it's not an uncommon thing to happen. So I pulled the back housing off, this guy right here, which basically makes it to where you can see the fingers, and I saw that I had 2 gears engaged, so I disengaged it, put it back in the neutral, thought it was all good. Fired it up and drove it on the trailer, and it was still making this weird clunking sound. Like every half rotation it would clunk. Well, actually it kind of sounded like gears were grinding. That's the exact sound that it would make. So I figured there was probably more to the story, unfortunately, and here we are, the day after, and sure enough, there's supposed to be a rod sticking all the way out here. It's the lay shaft, and you can see it broke clean in half. And unfortunately, I don't think that this removes or comes out. I think I have to tear the whole gearbox down in order to fix that. So that sucks. And this freaking lay shaft is $1,000 for that one little rod. So, and I mean, that's all the damage I found. I mean, these are virgin eyes looking at this stuff. I have never done anything transmission related. So I don't know if these gears are any good. Yeah, I don't know. Like I don't know if the synchros are good or anything. Fortunately, when I bought the car, well, okay, so whenever I bought the car, it did come with this little holder deal. So that's cool. And then it also came with a few extra gears. So, and I don't know what the gear ratios on these are, but I do have extra gears. So that's a plus. That's like $1,000 worth of gears right there. And not only do I have the gears, another gear, I also have extra dog rings as well. So if I find anything else that is broken or whatever, then I should be able to fix it, hopefully. But yeah, I wasn't really sure if I should have Formula Mazda guys fix this or if I should take the plunge. I wasn't too sure if something was broken, but I mean, making noises like that, it'd be hard to say that nothing was wrong. So I wasn't really too sure, but Moses, the owner of Formula Mazda, told me that they're pretty simple. And I mean, yeah, this was like 30 minutes of just pilfering and, you know, trying to work my way around this stuff. And I mean, to get to this point in 30 minutes is, I mean, that just shows how simple this stuff is. And I mean, it's already stacked up for me, so I can tear it down and I can see exactly how it's supposed to be stacked, so I can learn a lot just by that. The only thing that's going to suck is removing the gearbox in order to get inside to take that lay shaft out. I'm not really sure. I mean, it's just going to suck, but it might be for good because I have like some broken studs on the on these cases or whatever, the ears, whatever, and it's actually leaking fluid from these. So it'd be nice to take the gearbox out, probably put a new clutch. I have a new clutch disc. I actually have 2 clutch discs, so I'd probably go ahead and put a new throwout bearing, idler bearing, or pilot bearing, sorry, a new pressure plate, new clutch disc, and remove these guys, buy new studs and new bolts, or I'm sorry, new nuts, because these things have just been backing out all the time, and it's allowing the gearbox to leak, and it's super annoying. So it'd be nice to just get all that stuff totally 100% ready to go. And I don't know that we actually have a race for a couple of months, so it'd be a good time to do it. It just sucks. I mean, I was going for the race win, and I mean, I really think I could have won, because like basically on Saturday, the way the car was set up is it was really good at doing 1 lap. Like whenever I went out and got the tires up to temp, that 1 lap was, I mean, the car was on rails. I think I did my second lap on Saturday qualifying was a 53.6 or 53.7. And then, I mean, after that, the car it would just get crappy. As soon as it got hot, yeah, the car would go away. The thing is, and I knew this, but my inexperience with this stuff, I didn't change anything. So going into the race, I had the same setup. So, so during the race, this was a 20-minute race, and my car just kept getting slower and slower and harder to drive, Whereas the guy that was in the lead, his car was set up complete opposite of mine. Like his car started to come in at the end of the race. So he went from doing 55s, 54s, and eventually did 53 at the end of the race. So that was the thought process for Sunday, to get us set up. Like, we know we have a good qualifying setup, but to get a different setup that would be really good for the race. Maybe a little slower at the beginning of the race, but something that would come in at the end of the race. So I want a fast car at the end of the race to go win. And the car was just fixing to come in. So yeah, the car felt great. I stayed the race. I mean, it was really hot over the weekend. I mean, they call it the Sunburn Grand Prix for an obvious reason. So I made sure to stay hydrated, to stay cool, to keep my energy. That way I can go out there and focus for a full 30 minutes to go and get a win. And it's just really, that was heartbreaking. I mean, because I knew we had a good chance to go get a win, and like a legitimate win. Like, I want to beat somebody on fair terms, where they have a good car and I have a good car, and I just win on pure talent. So yeah, and here we are, you know, about to spend a fortune trying to fix a dang gearbox. But oh well, at least I have the support of the pups. Isn't that right, Callie? Yeah, that's right. That's right. Come here. Come on, Callie. Come on, come on, come on. She feels sorry for me. But anyways, I guess I'll find out what all I gotta do to get this stuff fixed, and then we'll go from there and hopefully be ready for the next one.